A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Today we are reading Fazail-e-Amaal. Fazail-e-Amaal. The book written by Maulana Muhammad Zakaria Kandalawi and translated by Mufti Afzal Hussain Ilyas Rahmatullah alayh. So the introduction. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. A chosen servant of Allah Subhanahu, who was my mentor, the writer's mentor and benefactor, had suggested in the year 1353 that some stories be written about the Sahaba Radhiyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, especially concerning the piety of the young Sahaba Radhiyallahu Ta'ala Anhu and the women, so that people who have a keen interest in stories may read this rather than fictitious stories. It may thus become a source of religious progress for them. Women may then also read these stories to their children at night instead of fairy tales, so that together with developing love and respect for the Sahaba Radhiyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, they may also be encouraged toward carrying out religious activities. It was of extreme importance that I fulfill this suggestion, because apart from drowning in His Allah Subhanahu's favors, gaining the pleasure of those close to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is a sure means of success in both worlds. However, because of inadequacy, I was never hopeful of being able to fulfill the task as expected. Therefore, I continuously heard the suggestion for 4 years, but was too embarrassed about my incapability to start. It was in the year 1357 that I was stopped from exerting myself mentally because of illness. It then occurred to me that I ought to rather spend these free hours in this blessed occupation. I thought to myself that even though these pages may not be up to standard, but at least the time would be spent in this excellent and blessed act. There is no doubt in the fact the incidents of those close to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala should be well researched and used to take lessons. This applies especially to the venerable group of the Sahaba Radhiyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, whom Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala had selected to be the companions of His most beloved Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It is such people that need to be emulated. In addition to this, speaking of the people close to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala also attract Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala's mercy. The leader of Sufis, Hazrat Junaid Baghdadi Rahmatullah alayh, mentioned that stories are amongst the armies of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala by which the hearts of people are strengthened. There is a typing error. I'm going to fix that. It says THA instead of THE. When someone asked him for substantion, he recited the words, وَكُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرَّسُولِ مَا نُثَبِّتُ بِهِ فُوَادَكَ وَجَاءَكَ فِي هَذِا الْحَقُّ وَمَوْزَةٌ وَذَكْرٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Surah Hud, ayat number 120. And the translation is, O Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we narrate to you, like Allah Subhanahu narrate to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, all the narratives of the Rasuls that came before, so that your heart may be strengthened by them, so that you may take courage from them. In these narratives, the true state of affairs has come to you, as well as advice and reminder for the mu'mineen. It must also be borne in mind that the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the stories of the saints, the books of religious regulations, as well as the lectures and statements of reliable scholars are not things that one merely browse through at random and then never look at it again. According to every person's capability and nature, such things will be referred to again and again. A saint by the name of Abu Sulaiman Darani Rahmatullah alayh relates that he was once present in the lecture of a pious scholar and the lecture had a great effect on him. However, once the lecture was over, the effect had vanished. When he attended the person's lecture for a second time, the effect vanished while he was on the road home. After the third lecture, the effect lasted until he had reached his house. Once he reached the house, he then destroyed everything that he had been using against the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thereafter, he chose to remain on the straight path. The same is the case with the books of Deen. The effect is not lasting after just browsing through them. They need to be read over and over. In the interest of easy readings and to engage the attention of the reader, I have divided this book into 12 chapters and a conclusion as follows. So there is a chapter. First chapter is about enduring hardships and difficulties for the sake of Deen. Second chapter is the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which was a speciality of the Sahaba radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Third chapter, glimpses of the abstinence and self-discipline that the Sahaba radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu exercised. Fourth chapter, the taqwa of the Sahaba radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Fifth chapter, fervor for Salah and the importance they attach to it. Sixth chapter, preferring others above themselves and spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Seventh chapter, their bravery, their courage and enthusiasm for death. Eighth chapter, glimpses into their dedication to acquiring knowledge. Ninth chapter, acting upon the instructions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. 10th chapter, the fervor that their women had for Deen, their courage and a discussion about the wives and children of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. 11th chapter, the passion their children had for Deen and the importance they attached to it, glimpses into their love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Conclusion, the rights of the Sahaba radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu and their virtues in brief. So that is the introduction portion of this book. And we will conclude here today because we want to break the reading into measurable sections. Thank you very much.